Good morning. So here's our brand new book. This is The Upside Down Hat. They always put these stickers right where you can't. Written by Stephen Barr, illustrated by Gracey Zhang. Great art. That's how it got picked. So let's find out. Do we like it? It says, what happens to a boy who has nothing but his hat? Everything. Okay. For Jane, who wears the hats in the relationship, to looking, discovering, and finding. 2023 Chronicle Books. Oh, here we go, with the glasses icon. So they tend to print pretty good books. The Upside Down Hat, written by Stephen Barr, illustrated by Gracey Zhang. And this could be a Stefan. Sorry. One morning, a boy who had everything woke up and discovered that it was all gone. Everything was missing, except for his hat. When it started to storm, he put the hat on, and it kept the rain out of his eyes while he searched for what he'd lost. But after 1,000 steps and 10,000 raindrops, he had only his hat and a terrible thirst. So he turned the hat upside down and drank. I am liking this. When the sun came out further than it had ever come out before, the boy put the hat back on, and it kept his face from burning while he searched for what he'd lost. But after 1,000 more steps and 10,000 beads of sweat, he had only his hat and a ferocious hunger. So he turned the hat upside down again and ate. When the farmer came running up the hill, yelling and spitting about his cherries, the boy put the hat back on, and it kept his face hidden as he blended into the crowd and searched for what he'd lost. He searched for his sewing needle and his pirate flag and his bright orange stilts and his best friends, Henry and Priscilla. But after 1,000 more steps and 10,000 strangers, he had only his hat and a dreadful, helpless feeling. So he turned the hat upside down and begged. All day and all night, the boy asked for help until the streets were empty and his path was clear. When the boy made it to the top of the tallest mountain, he looked out over his half of the world and searched for what he'd lost. But it was still somewhere else, and there was nowhere else to go. So he put the hat back on because he didn't want to lose the only thing he had left while he slept, and slept, and slept. In his dreams, the boy was angry, so he turned the mountain upside down, and in the valley it left behind, he found his sewing needle, and his pirate flag, and his bright orange stilts. And Henry and Priscilla, and everything else he'd lost exactly as he'd left it. But his hat was missing. So he took a few more steps up and out of the valley and left everything behind. Until he found his hat waiting for him. One morning, a boy who had nothing woke up. Here it is, in case you can't see it well. One morning, a boy who had nothing woke up side down and discovered his life was turning around. I liked that. It reminds me of, let's see if I can, oh, yep, I can grab it. It reminds me of this book, a Dan Santat, After the Fall, How Humpty Dumpty Got Back Up Again, which I had already pulled because I really like it, and I want to read it to you, so maybe I'll read it to you tomorrow.